What's up guys, this is Yash and today is going to be a different kind of video. A lot of people have been asking me, hey Yash, what camera are you using? So I decided to tell you guys what cameras do I use and what is the equipment that I use to create my videos and how I develop content. So to make it easy, I'm going to go ahead and list all the content that I create and what do I use, what is the equipment that I use, and what I love, what I hate about it, pros and cons, and all the links in the description are going to actually take you to the Amazon link for the product if you want to buy. This is not a paid promotion, so you could trust my view. So this is not a review of any product, it is more like an overview based on what I do, what I like about the product, what I don't. So without any further ado, let's jump right into it guys. First of all, I'm gonna start with the cheap stuff. So this is, at first glance, if you're looking at it, at first glance this might look to you like a Hero, GoPro Hero or something, but it's not. It is Amazon DB, not Amazon. Amazon doesn't make it, but it is sold on Amazon. It is a DB Power Action Cam, which is sold on Amazon for 55 bucks. Because it's 55 bucks, I could do this with it. So the only reason I got this camera was because I wasn't sure if I really want to put something outside of my car when I'm driving through that terrain that I was driving one time. I wanted to record it. I wasn't sure if I really want to trust an expensive GoPro Hero camera or a Sony Action Camera 4K, which is the one that I really want to get. And if you're getting into something, if you want to really get a camera, I do recommend the Sony 4K. Go ahead and watch a review of it somewhere else, and I totally recommend that because I've watched so many reviews and that's the next camera I really want to get. So this is a really nice camera, DB Power. It records 1080p in 120 frames per second. Really nice for slow motion. The lens is a fisheye lens, so it records good. It records a wider angle. Nice on that. The only thing that sucks on this is the screen in the back of it sucks completely because it just reminds me of those cheap iPads that go on sale on Black Fridays and people get it for like $16, $18 from BrandsMart. It's the same kind of screen on this. Really bad. Don't recommend it. Not touchscreen. Just, I think it's most problems with most action cams are not touchscreen, because that makes sense. But anyways, functionality is good. Microphone sucks. There's no way you could input a microphone into this thing, so you have to record it either on a different source or just to act. I only use it to record action and then overlap it with good music or some instrumental, whatever I want to use at that moment. So that's about this. This camera is nice. I think 50 bucks is really good. Sometimes the memory card inside of this, most times the memory card inside of it is more money than the camera. So I do recommend the DB Power 1080p HD camera. It is really nice. Records slow-mo, records action camera. If you have a GoPro accessory case like this, I had the whole kit. Works fine with it. Goes, fits perfectly. Records. I've gone underwater with this, done underwater testing with this thing. I've been on the road with this thing. I've put it outside my scooter, motorcycle, on my boat even. Does wonder. Records well. There's no way you could see what's recording, but it records good quality, but the screen shows bad quality. That's the only thing. That put aside, we're gonna jump on to one of my favorite cameras. This thing right here is one of my favorite cameras ever. This is the RX100 Mach 5. This is one of the best vlogging cameras today out there because it's super portable. It fits right into my pocket. I could walk around, take it out, vlog whenever I have to. Records really good. Records slow-mo up till 920 or 980 frames per second. In 720p obviously, but 720p is not a good quality, but it records 240 frames per second at a really good quality. So records 1080p, records full 4K, has a really good Coral ZS lens in the front, really good in low light photography, and really good in continuous photo shots. It's really good. It's a really compact and nice camera. If you see right over here, it's really flat. The microphone is inside, so that's the only bad thing. The microphone's inside. Sometimes you hear 4K, sometimes you hear other things. These cameras tend to record good audio, but it's not the best audio when you're outdoors. You could put some things on it, like the hairy things like these. I'll tell you more about what this is, but these things go on top of it, like it's a small little sticky thing that go on the microphone, muffles all the air when you're recording. Because actually what happens, it has a flip out screen. That's one of the most important parts of this thing. It records 4K. If you like, you could just hold this camera with your hand. You don't need a tripod, you don't need extra accessories, but you need a lot of more batteries because this thing runs out of battery like nothing. That being said, it is really good, records 4K, records 1080p, obviously, really good for slow-mo. I think this is a replacement for some cameras which are like bigger, bulkier cameras. It's that compact, really worth every penny. It will land you about $1,000 if you're getting a Mach 5, but I do recommend getting a Mach 4 because it doesn't really make a difference. I had a Mach 4 and a Mach 5. Really, they're almost alike. There's not much difference. There's one big problem with this. When you're recording 4K with this camera tends to give up on you in about 5 to 7 minutes. Could record 5 to 6 minutes of good 4K and then it starts to dim off in the back. The screen's gonna shade off. It's gonna dim, and then die on you. But if you're recording 1080p, it has given me up to 15 to 16 minutes in a chilly room. So if you're gonna have that kind of setup or something, then it's good. But it's good for vlogging because you're not gonna be vlogging all the time while you're walking 15 minutes or 20 minutes. It's just like you record, you talk, you record, you put it aside, it gets the time to cool down, you record, it gets the time to slow down. The goods are endless, flip out screen like no other Sony camera, face detection points like bigger cameras, record slow-mo like nothing. You almost gonna be sure that you're gonna be in focus when you're looking at the camera. You don't have to run around looking for focus. Record slow-mo, continuous shots for photography, perfect. The lens in the front is beautiful, almost like a night vision camera because it records at night like nothing. Really good camera. I do recommend this. If you're looking for a camera and you want to start vlogging and stuff, RX100 Mach 5. Beautiful camera. I'm not paid by them, but this is a beautiful camera. After that, I told you I'm going to tell you what this is. So this thing is a dead cat. This is a dead cat. What it does is when the air or wind is blowing, it hits your microphone, and your microphone is like a little plastic thing. When it hits it, it makes that sound of the wind actually crashing against the plastic and records it. This thing, when you put it on top of the microphone, it takes off the noise. It takes off the noise of the wind and it actually works. And this comes with this microphone. This is one of my most favorite microphones ever. It's a Rode Video Mic Pro. A lot of people use it and I love it myself because it doesn't need any batteries like the microphone that I'm using right now. It needs a 3.5 bigger battery in it every time, and I have to be sure that it's recording. I have to worry about switching it on, switching it off every time I'm recording a video. But with this microphone, you just leave it on, it's always on, just connect and it records. Good thing it has a switchable cable. So you plug it out, you throw this cable apart, and there's another cable called LCS. I'm not sure about the keywords. I'm gonna find it, I'll leave it in the description. I mean, it's a red cable with a gray last pin, like the other 3.5mm is a gray pin. So you plug the black one here, and the gray one you can plug it into your phone and start recording from your start recording from this thing on your phone. So which is beautiful. I love this mic for that reason. I use this microphone all the time. After the microphone and the camera, I really want to tell you about, didn't break anything, this little toy of mine. I shouldn't call it a toy because a lot of people give me looks when I'm walking around with this thing, or when I have it in my bag, or I have it on my camera bag, like one thing inside and two out. People are not sure what this is and they have naughty thoughts about it. So I'm gonna clear it out for those people who are watching this video and seen me carrying this around. It is a Joby Gorillapod. It is one of the best tripods ever. Tripods mean a Gorillapod or a small pod, like a tabletop tripod. It's one of the best ones out there because you could put it around stuff. Say you want to get a shot on a wooden thing, you could just put it around and it's just gonna stay. It's gonna hold your camera right there and it's gonna record the shot. Look, it's perfect. And I've gotten great quality shots out of this thing. I've used it for video production, I've used it for bigger videos, I've used it for stability because it gives me stability. If I hold the camera like this and I'm stretching out, I'm kind of shivering and jittering, but when I have this, I could hold it with two hands and go out and record other people. I could walk the ninja walk to record it with the stabilization of the cameras, like the A6500 I'm using. And yeah, the RX100 also has inbuilt stabilization, which is a huge plus. And that said, this is a beautiful Joby Gorillapod, very stable, very durable. You know it is made out of the head is made out of metal, this joint is made out of metal. This is all plastic with rubber rings that actually are good for gripping. It's really nice, really durable. Has taken a lot of pain and a lot of punishment. It still looks like new. And the good thing about it is this little head comes out right here, and you just put it underneath your, let's say I'm gonna put it underneath my RX100. It just goes, and regular 3/4 inch pin, you could just do that. And when you have it all tightened up, you kind of have to have it this way, so you have the spirit lamp in front to tell you how it is, if it's straight or not. And look how easy it is. You just go in and click. You're recording your video, you're nice, and you're vlogging with this thing, because that's how I mostly end up doing it. It's nice, it records really well. And after that, once I'm done, I'm packing everything, all I have to do is push this button, pull it out, done. So that's a beautiful thing, because a lot of the other ones, they give you more bulkier stuff, and this is almost flat. So I could almost put it on a flat surface. If you guys see, I could almost put it on a flat surface and still record and put it back on the tripod. So it's pretty nice, and I like the nice feature of the Gorillapod. Link is in the description. It's 50 to 60 bucks, somewhere in that range. Really good. This microphone that I talked about was in the $50 to $60 range too. Really nice. I'm using an Alpha 6500 today with an Insignia mic on the top. We're gonna get to that little overview when I switch cameras, but right now I have to talk to you about my DSLR. So I'm not very big of a camera guy. I've not invested thousands of dollars, but I've spent about, I think, $4,000 or $5,000, close to $5,500, $6,000 in camera gear right now. So this is actually the second camera that I've ever bought. The first one that I got was a Nikon 32 or 3300, I'm not sure. It was a 3200. It's a that was an entry line DSLR. This was like a step up because it had a screen that comes out, and I love this feature because I could record, I could see what I'm doing. Nice camera. Nothing crazy about it. It's really nice, records good. Microphone sucks, so don't use it for video. Records 30 frames per second. I'm not sure. It records 60 or 30 frames per second in 1080p. Quality is nice. Focus is really well. Autofocus is nice. You're almost always gonna be in focus. Does really good. Heavy. Really heavy, because the bigger the lens, it is heavier. It has a whole body, it has a mirror inside and everything, so it is a heavy camera. I do recommend this if you're on a low budget. I do recommend this over anything else. If you're starting off, I would say save $100 or so. I got it used and it looks brand new. I still use this camera with an 88mm prime lens to do my product photography. It's beautiful. It makes the colors nice. I click pictures in raw format, which this DSLR lets me do. Amazing quality it produces, and then I could use that content to create better pictures. And now I'm gonna actually end up talking to you about one of my favorite, most portable cameras ever, and I think everybody almost has this camera. And if you're starting and thinking to start doing stuff on YouTube, this is the camera to go to. I have an iPhone 7, and if you have an iPhone 7, 7 Plus, 6, 6 Plus, any of these cameras, any of these phones, I think these are beautiful phones, and these little cameras with these little small lenses are doing wonders. You can record a 4K video with this little thing, and it has stability inside of it. It has a front-facing camera, so you could see yourself while you're talking. And if really you think the audio quality, it has microphones inside, which is really nice. It has a microphone for noise cancellation right by the camera, which actually helps you record better quality. So I think iPhone 7 is the way to go if you're just starting off, and you could just buy a power bank and connect it and just record and vlog. So it's gonna be a stable camera for you. Other than if you get phone calls and stuff, that's a whole other thing, but you could always put it on airplane mode. I love this phone. I used this phone for my initial videos when I started off in 4K quality. Really nice. I don't recommend this camera highly for product photography, but I do recommend this for video. I think the back camera is insane, and I'm 100% sure if I'm recording a video like this and I'm walking around, it's wide enough to capture everything. I'm almost gonna be in focus. That's iPhone 7, and I love that camera. So next I'm gonna actually switch my cameras. I'm gonna put the RX100 on the tripod, and I'm gonna bring the A6500 into my hands and talk to you about the A6500 while you're watching me on the RX100 in the same video quality. Now let's do this. So this is the other camera that I was talking to you guys about. This is the Sony A6500. It is an amazing camera. It has a shotgun mic from Insignia that I use. It's pretty nice. Same thing, I have to keep track of the batteries that go inside of it. It's really nice, but we're not going to talk much about this. I do recommend the Rode microphone above anything else, but this camera is totally insane, and I think this camera has no beat to, like, there's no other camera that actually competes to this beautiful little piece of technology. This is beautiful, records 4K, has steady shot inside of it, has 5-axis stabilization inside of it, sucks up on the battery, but it's really good if you're recording 4K. It's nicer. It has a touchscreen to focus, has face detection points. It has lenses that you could change. You could take off this lens and put it on another one and have actually a new camera, because the lens is everything. So you could just switch it and you have a new camera altogether. The lens that I love to use is this one. This is one of my favorite lenses. This is a 28mm prime. It has an APC crop sensor. If all of that sounds gibberish to you, what it does is, if you're gonna put this lens on a full frame camera, you're gonna have a wider angle, wider lens, but if you're gonna put it on this A6500, it's gonna be a little cropped down. So remember that, guys. I do recommend the 28mm, but if you're gonna put it on a tripod and record like how I was doing it in the first half of this video. But if you're gonna be recording vlogging, I don't recommend the 28mm, because I think it's much too close. If you have long arms, then you probably are fine, or if someone else is recording for you, then I do recommend this. But if you're recording it yourself for yourself, don't recommend the 28mm, because it's too much in the face. That's what I feel. So that's about it. It has great functionality, works like a charm. It is not too much of a review, it's more like an overview. I love this camera. The lens is beautiful, puts me in the picture, fades everything behind me. Approach priority is perfect, really nice. You could plug anything that you want. You could buy a little cage for this and put 100 things if you want to. Beautiful, really nice, almost professional, like pro camera. Price point is about $1,300. Doesn't come with any lens. You have to get the lens separate, but this camera is worth every penny. I do recommend this camera highly. Has great functionality. You could send your pictures directly to your phone and stuff, all the cool stuff. It's really nice. Sony, I think, is killing it. If you cannot afford this camera, I do recommend getting the Sony A6300 because it is about $200 to $300 cheaper than this camera, but the only thing that you lose in specific is the 5-axis stabilization. Other than that, almost 99% of the things are the same. There's not much difference. It has the same face detection points like the Sony. It's really nice. I love it. Great functionality. This camera is a charm. It's a little expensive, but for the functionality that it gives you, no Panasonics can give you for this price point. For more money, you could get better Panasonics and Canons and Nikons, but for this price point, for about below $1,500, I think you could get yourself a lens and this camera, and it'll be great for your video. I do recommend this camera for you guys. That's about it, guys. Thank you so much for watching this video. I really appreciate you guys for sticking around and asking me a question and asking all the equipment that I have and I use for my video production. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for watching this video. If you liked any of this content, and if you want to buy any of this stuff, I've actually put links in the description. None of the sellers who are selling it or anybody has paid for this video, so please be assured that this is from my personal experience and I'm telling you what I have felt about it. That's about it. I'm gonna wrap this video now. So if you really like this video, subscribe, and hey, watch my previous video here, subscribe here.